What are going people? Mr. B man, as usual, so when we come we are come with some issues that require some plenty discussion. Cause I'm not really in the ray thing. But this morning, as usual, me I go through the Observer and me come across a headline that stated the TikToker 119 charged with malicious communication over post about St. Catherine woman. Now, anybody who know 119, let me give you a little picture. See me? 119. 119 run a TikTok account. He have a YouTube account too. As a fellow blogger or vlogger on the platform. But 119 have a reputation. I really take licks after a whole heap of people. Enough licks. His platform is replete with instances of him taking pot shots. People like a Miss Kitty, there was a big thing with him where Miss, claims say Miss Kitty go on date where Miss Kitty husband, he eventually became her husband. Um, you know, issue a edict for him for retract or them or sue him. We never know what come out of that. But 119 is a man who regularly take licks after people. And so my question was, who 119 fast with there now that, cause police to lock him up, but according to the Observer story, 119 was arrested on Tuesday and hit with a charge of malicious communications under the Cybercrimes Act in relation to two social media posts regarding a female of a St. Catherine address. Now, a strong talk that, strong talk. Of course, the malicious, comments, my sentiments were that, well, we know so 119 is a man with a regular thing for take look after people, right? And so to some, when something like this busts out, nobody not really a sorry for because if you have a reputation like that, and true to far, when you check the social media platform, a very few man really take up for 119, right? Because according to them, is a man where him take leaks. Me too, me have some issues with some of him his commentary. He in his own defense always jump up and say, boy, I'm not really, I don't know, nothing personal, him out there comment and thing. And in fairness, under the law, under the constitution of Jamaica, man free for talk. More tongue crossway them say, make for say anything. Now the newspaper story continues. The social media personality whose real name is Milton Ray was held by the Spanish Town Criminal Investigative Branch, CIB. He was granted station bail in the sum of $400,000 and will answer to the charge in the St. Catherine Parish Court on May 12th. Now, 119, as the story continues, or Mr. Ray, whatever you want to call him, begged them to tell him what words in his post amounted to malicious communication. The officer replied, that's why there is a judicial system that will be revealed in court, he explained when contacted by the press. Now, the TikToker, who is a former journalist, is relishing the challenge to his freedom of speech and expression rights, which he believes are core human rights. And I have to say to you that I agree with it. And as he continued, I'm seeking a stay on the matter pending a challenge in the Constitutional Court. I believe this is a new law for the police who are seeking to infringe on the rights of regular Jamaicans by misinterpreting the law in order to muzzle them. And this is Ray, or 119, in responding to the media. Now, I am curious and in fact, indeed intrigued about this this particular case, because it really speaks in fairness to and in support of 119. It speaks to the issue of freedom of expression. You know, we don't live in a police state. Granted, there are serious attempts, it would appear, to try to transform the country into a police state, but we're not there yet. And so, if someone feels aggrieved, right, that somebody says something about them, right, I may even, just to jump forward a little bit, me even I wonder what is this, which 119 video is the offending video. I remember recently he posted one early this week, which was ranking the ugliest woman in Jamaica, and it called some people name. I may even reach out to one of my brethren and I say, I wonder if this them a whole 119 for. Now again, me no have no brief for 119 because I think sometimes him kind of overstep, right? In terms of some of the things that him go after people upon. But again, that's a theme, right? And if people feel that they are being aggrieved, if people feel aggrieved by the comments that they make, they have the right to carry go to court. The question, though, of him being arrested, or the whole issue of him being arrested, according to the police, them arrest him under the newly instituted Cybercrimes Act, and Ray, or 119, maintains that this is patently unconstitutional, as it infringes dangerously on the provisions of the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms. He goes on that all citizens of Jamaica should know that if you speak the truth, the police can come for you and arrest and charge you, right? The provisions of this new law are clearly not justifiable in a free and democratic society. And again, as I said, his arguments are strong, and it finds support with me. Me support that argument, right? It is indeed frightening that in Jamaica, there are laws that allow the police to just come and arbitrarily arrest you, criminally charge you just for stating your views, right? No, it's not that incite people for riot or commit a crime or anything. But a man thinks. So, for example, if with the ugly woman thing that him do, and him basically rank the 10 ugliest women, although more than 10 him put out. Him put out 12 people, and him rank them as who him think in his opinion are the ugliest woman them in Jamaica in a public life. Can't not really go after any ordinary job. Some public people who in the public domain and thing. And him free for God. Now, if any one of them woman there, come here one day for that. Right? If a man look at you and say you're ugly, that's a female opinion, right? If him thinks say you're ugly, him thinks say you're ugly. Now, if you feel aggrieved, that is not a crime, in my opinion. And in point of fact, there are laws on the books, right? There are, in other words, an individual who is so aggrieved have recourse under the law in a civil court for something like that. But again, you still have to prove how you were injured by a man I call you ugly, right? I mean, as I said, people free to get up and say, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly. If you're not ugly, you're not ugly. You can go tomorrow morning and go to a doctor and get a prescription to change your ugliness. If you're ugly, you're ugly. And if a man said to you that you're ugly, and you feel so boy it will cause you to lose money or whatever, then fine, carry him go to civil court and him have civil penalties. But to arrest somebody for something like that, I think that is a stretch. So I believe that all of Jamaica should be curious, concerned, and intrigued by the course of this action. He has requested a stay of this particular charge for the issue to be addressed in the Constitutional Court, which is the right place, I think, in his defense that he has got. Because the Constitution makes the provision, provides for each person's ability and freedom to speak freely. Granted, with freedom comes responsibility. And it is against the background of the responsibility that if you make a statement about somebody that injures them in a way that it causes them losses, monetary losses, positional losses, but in particular, economic losses, then you have a responsibility to deal with that. That person have the right to carry in front of the judge in a civil court situation and argue that case. And if the judge finds on the behalf of the person who them say ugly, and that because you say them ugly, them lose money or whatever. But again, if the fact is, if you're ugly, you're ugly, but again, I'm making the argument that with freedom comes responsibility. So if you make certain statement, you're responsible. But it is not criminal. There's a significant distinction. And so this whole case, is a test of the constitutionality of the law that the police is using to arrest. The Cyber Crimes Act. It is important that we test these legislations because although the politician them might pass them thing in the parliament, until they are tested in the court, right? They only depend on the books as law, but laws can be struck down, right? And this is a really good instance to test the constitutionality of those laws, right? And of course, if 119 is successful in striking down this law, then the government are going to have to answer to him for false arrest, malicious prosecution, right? Malicious arrest. In fact, the responsibility on the part of the police, in my opinion, is to conduct an investigation. A man calling ugly is not a reason for you to send police to go lock him up, right? You have to show how the claim that the person make puts you in a position that impinges on your own personal rights and freedoms, right? And so I think all of us as Jamaicans, and especially those of us who are involved in this kind of exercise where we do these blogging discussions, whatever, opinion pieces, that we should be watching this thing, right? Tell me what you think about what me think. As we said, I think 119, this is going to be a very interesting case, and it is also testing the constitutionality of this whole matter. That is, unless the person who's doing it in the first place decide to step away from the police action. And even so, 119 would also have a claim against them for this defamatory action, because this action does defame him. It says, as me say, when me see it, me say, boy, 119 mess with somebody and them decide to come after him. And for those people who don't like him, it strengthened the case that them have them dislike of it. Tell me what you think. Let me see on a response in the comments down below. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like button. Feel free to share it, and let's have a discussion on this thing. These are some good issues that we all should become concerned with. If you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel. So when more of them kind of topic drop, I you that. Respect. And to my friend 119, boy, you're born to get licked. But make me say what I want to turn on. Seriously. All right.